Nature of reading. Reading is similar to listening, speaking, and writing. It's a communication skill. Reading is a process because it's a series of acts proceeding from one step to the next. From being a passive skill, reading is in fact an active process in which readers relate information in text they already know. Knowledge of the language allows readers to identify the content, words, and sentences. Knowledge of the words allows them to comprehend these words and sentences. Good readers read for meaning. They do not decode each letter of each word. Instead, they take chunks to the next relate into what they know. Factors that affect reading. Background knowledge. Background knowledge plays an essential role in reading comprehension. In an effort to comprehend a text, students rely on their background knowledge to read. What they already know the text they are reading. Background knowledge includes both a reader's real words, experiences, and literary knowledge. Drawing parallels between background knowledge and text helps students become active readers, improving the reading comprehension. Vocabulary. Whether or not students have mastered vocabulary, skills affect the reading comprehension. Students must be able to comprehend a familiar word, its relationship with other words within a text. Mastering vocabulary includes recognizing a word's part of speech, definition, usual context clues, and how to function in a sentence. Their vocabulary strategies can help improve comprehension. Fluency. Reading fluency allows students to retain information with accuracy, expression, and increased speed. The ability to read fluently develops through reading practice. As students become fluent readers, they will spend less time trying to disappear the meaning of words and more time considering. Overall meaning the sentence of over time, fluent readers will develop the ability to insightfully respond to a text. Active reading. Beginning readers often rely on skills readers to guide them through a text. However, as readers develop, they be able to monitor their own reading comprehension. Students can actively guide their own reading by targeting comprehension problems they are offered. Students can troubleshoot comprehension problems by recalling what they read, asking themselves questions, or evaluating the text. Critical thinking. Students can actively respond to a text more efficiently when they process critical thinking skills. As students read, they can determine the meaning of supporting details, the sequence of events, and overall structure of the text. Students will also able to identify literary device and their effect on the text. Having critical thinking skills help to define a student's comprehension of a text, resulting in a positive experience.
Manners of reading. Oral reading is an act of reading printed or written text aloud and is often used by teachers to track and measure a student's overall reading ability, including reading accuracy, pronunciation, fluency, comprehension, and understanding of punctuation. Oral reading can allow a teacher to directly observe a child reading skills including decoding, fluency, and prosody, tone, and expression. Many teachers frequently employ silent reading to build fluency. Sustained silent reading is a practice of having students read silently for a specified period of time each day. Some schools include adults in this practice, which will be known as their time. Drop everything and read. Note-taking. Note-taking is a practice of writing down pieces of information in a systematic way. Builds the students' literary appreciation. Note-taking, sometimes written as note-taking or note-taking, is the practice of recording information from different sources and platforms. By taking notes, the writer records the essence of the information, freeing their minds from having to recall everything. Notes are commonly drawn from transient sources such as oral discussion at meeting or a lecture. Notes of meeting are usually called minutes, in which case the notes may be the only record of the event. Different formats for notes. There is no right format to use when taking notes, rather There are many different structure and style that can be used. What's important is that you find method that works for you and encourage the use of good note-taking qualities and stick with it. Here are the few types of format that you may want to experiment with. Cornell notes. This style includes section for the date, initial question, topic, notes, questions, and summary. Check out this link for more explanation. Number 2. Outline. An outline organizes the lecture by main point, allowing room for examples and details. Flowchart or concept map. A visual representation of notes is good for content that has an order or step involved. See more about concept map here. Charting method. A way to organize notes from lectures with substantial amount of facts through dividing key topics into columns and recording facts underneath. One of the simplest forms of note-taking, helpful for disseminating which information from a lecture is important by quickly covering details and information.
Important elements of public speaking. There are 14 different important elements needed in public speaking. First, the voice. The sound produces by the vibration of the vocal cords. It is one of the most important elements because without our voice, we cannot perform public speaking. Second, the voice speech. The highness and lowness of tone. Third, voice volume. The loudness and carrying power of voice. In doing public speaking, tone of voice and the volume plays a vital role in catching the attention of every listeners. Fourth, voice quality, that which distinguishes one voice from another when pitch, volume, and duration are the same. For instance, a voice may be hoarse, nasal, mellow, and etc. People have different types of voice quality. It's important to have a good voice quality to catch more listeners. Fifth, speech rate and pause. Consists of number of words uttered per minute and the cessation of speaking within or between sentences. 6. The enunciation and pronunciation. The formation of voice into the words and the manner of utterance of words. Uttering the right pronunciation and enunciation is necessary for it gives life to the words, but remember, do not use slang pronunciation. Gestures involves movements of arms, shoulders, hands, or head in physical expression of thoughts. Every public speaker uses gesture for them to express more their thoughts by using any movements. Posture, the position of bearing of the body. Posture is also important for a public speaker to be presentable on stage. Facial expression, the aspect of general appearance of the face. Every public speaker uses facial expression to express the message if he or she is delivering it as sad, happy, angry, excited, or any emotions of the message. It is also used as a body language. Organization of thought. The logical arrangement of ideas. The message should have proper organization from the main topic down to the subtopics. Composition is the manner of formulation ideas into effective sentences. It is important to use effective sentences in public speaking. Phrasing, the grouping of words into small unit of thoughts. Audience contact, establishing mental and contact with the audience by talking to its member. It is also one of the most important elements. The speaker should have contact to the audiences for a effective delivering of message. Motivation, the last one, the use of appeal and subject matter which are important to the audience and induce audience action. The bad voice qualities. First one is the breathing, caused by failure to bring the vocal cords closely enough together. Breathing can cause hindrance in delivering a message. Second, metallic, caused usually by too much energy in making the tone and the tightness of throat muscles. The third one, thinness, caused by lack of resonance. Hoarseness, caused by a cold or a strain through misuse. The falsetto, caused by getting resonance from the back part of the hard palate. Weakness, caused by too little breath and vigor. Nasality caused by letting the soft palate fall down too much.
Forms of prepared speech. Number 1. Entertaining speech. If you have been to a birthday party before, that awkward toast given by friends or family of the lucky birthday persons to consider to fall under the definition of an entertaining speech. The core purpose of an entertaining speech is to amuse the audience and obviously entertain them. They are usually less formal in nature to help communicate emotions rather than to simply talk about a couple of facts. You'll find that entertaining speeches are the most common type of speeches out there. Some examples include speeches given by maids of honor or best man at wedding, acceptance speeches at the Oscars, or even the one by a school's principal before or after a talent show. That is why entertaining speech are mostly happened on a special occasions, which is to entertain and amuse all the audience with your entertaining speech. Second, informative speech. When you want to educate your audience about a certain topic, you'll probably hope to create an informative speech. Purpose is to simply complex theories into simpler, easier to digest, and less ambiguous ideas. In other words, conveying information accurately. The informative speech can be thought of as a polar opposite to persuasive speeches, since they don't relate to the audience's emotion, but depend more on facts, studies, and statistics. Although you might find a bit of overlap between informative and demonstrative speech, the two are fairly distinct from one another. Informative speeches don't use the help of visual aids and demonstration, unlike demonstrative speeches. Some examples of informative speeches can be speeches given by staff members in meetings, a paleontology lecture, or just about anything from a teacher, except when the teacher telling stories about their past. Informative speech in it intends to educate the audience on a particular topic, and it uses objective factual information. Number 3. Demonstrative speech. From its name, we can imagine that a demonstrative speech is the type of speech you want to give to demonstrate how something works or how to do a certain thing. A demonstrative speech utilizes the use of visual aids and or physical demonstration along with information provided. Some might argue that demonstrative speeches are a subclass of informative speeches, but they are different enough to be considered two distinct types. It's like differentiating between what is and how to. Informative speeches deal with the theoretical concept, while demonstrative speeches look at the topic with a more practical lens. Example of demonstrative speeches are tutor, uh, tutors explaining how to solve math equations, chefs describing how to prepare a recipe, and the speeches given by developers demonstrating their products. All in all, demonstrative speech, it will demonstrate on how to do something. This is also a form of informational speaking. And number 4 is the persuasive speech. Persuasive speeches are where all the magic happens. A speech is said to be persuasive if the speaker is trying to prove why his or her point of view is right, and by extension, persuade the audience to embrace that point of view. Persuasive speeches differ from other basic types of speeches in the sense that they can either fail or succeed to achieve their purpose. You can craft the most carefully written speech and present it in the most grateful manner, yet the audience might not be convinced. Persuasive speeches can either be logical by using the help of facts or evidence, like a lawyer's argument in the court, or can make use of emotional triggers to spark specific feelings in the audience. A great example of persuasive speeches is TED and TED Talks, with the speaker is Nick Vujicic, the person without limbs but successful in life, because his talks deals about spreading awareness about various important topics, and another example is a business speech between a potential client. It is one persuasive speech. It is one of the most used speech because it is used when a presenter decide to convince their presentation or ideas to their listeners. That's why their goal is to convince or persuade people to believe in a certain point of view.
Forms of speech for special occasions. Ceremonial speaking. Ceremonial speeches are speeches given during a ceremony or a ritual marked by observance of formality or etiquette. These ceremonies tend to be very special for people, so it shouldn't be surprising that they are opportunities for speech making. Let's examine each of the 8 types of ceremonial speaking: introductions, presentations, acceptances, dedications, toasts, roasts, eulogies, and farewells. Speeches of introductions. The first type of speech is called the speech of introduction, which is a mini speech given by the host of a ceremony that introduces another speaker and his or her speech. Few things are worse than when the introducer or a speaker stands up and says, "This is Joe Smith. He's going to talk about stress." While we did learn the speaker's name and the topic, the introduction falls flat. Audience won't be the least bit excited about listening to Joe's speech. Just like another speech, a speech of introduction should be a complete speech and have a clear introduction, body, and conclusion, and you should do it all in under 2 minutes. This brings up another few things are worse scenario: an introductory speaker who rambles and for too long, or who talks about himself or herself instead of focusing on the person being introduced. Speeches of presentation. The second type of common ceremonial speech is the speech of presentation. A speech of presentation is a brief speech given to accompany a prize or honor. Speeches of presentation can be as simple as saying, "This year's recipient of the Common Public Speaking Prize is Wilhelmina Jevers," or could last up to 5 minutes as the speaker explains why the honor was chosen for the award. Speeches of acceptance. The complement to a speech of presentation is the speech of acceptance. The speech of acceptance is a speech given by the recipient of a prize or honor. For example, in the above video clip from the 2009 MTV Music Video Awards, Taylor Swift starts by expressing her appreciation, gets interrupted by Kanye West, and ends up by saying, "I would like to thank the fans and MTV, thank you." While obviously not a traditional acceptance speech because of the interruption, she did not manage to get in the important parts. There are 3 typically components of a speech of acceptance: thank the givers of the award or honor, thank those who helped you achieve your goal, and put the award or honor into perspective. First, you want to thank the people who have given you the award or honor, and those who voted for you. We see this done every year during the Oscars. First, I'd like to thank the Academy and all the Academy voters. Second, you want to give credit to those who help you achieve the award or honor. No person accomplishes things in life on his or her own. We all have families and friends, and who support us and help us achieve what we do in life. In a speech of acceptance is a great time to graciously recognize those individuals. Lastly, put the award in perspective. Tell the people listening to your speech why the award is meaningful to you. Speeches of dedication. The fourth ceremonial speech is a speech of dedication. A speech of dedication is delivered when a new store opens, a building is named after someone, a plaque is placed on a wall, a new library is completed, and so on. These speeches are designed to highlight the importance of the project and possible those to whom the project has been dedicated. Maybe your great uncle has died and left your college tons of money, so the college has decided to rename one of the dorms after your great uncle. In this case, you may be asked to speak at the dedication. When preparing the speech of dedication, start by explaining how you are involved in the dedication. The person to whom the dedication is being made is a relative. Tell the audience that the building is being named after your great uncle who bestowed a gift to his alma mater. Toasts. At one time or another, almost everyone is going to be asked to deliver a toast. A toast is a speech designed to congratulate, appreciate, or remember. First, toast can be delivered for the purpose of congratulating someone for an honor, a new job, or getting married. You can also toast someone to show your appreciation for something they've done. Lastly, we toast people to remember them and what they have accomplished. Roast. The roast speech is a very interesting and peculiar speech because it is designed to both praise and good-naturedly insult a person being honored. Generally, roasts are given at the conclusion of a banquet in honor of someone's life achievements. The television station Comedy Central has been conducting roasts of various celebrities for a few years. Eulogies. A eulogy is a speech given in honor of someone who has died. Don't confuse eulogy with elegy. A poem or song of mourning. Unless you are minister, priest, rabbi, imam, or other form of religious leader, you'll probably not deliver too many eulogies in your lifetime. However, when the time comes to deliver a eulogy, it's good to know what you're doing and to adequately prepare your remarks. Speeches of farewell. A speech of farewell allows someone to say goodbye to one part of his or her life as he or she is moving on the next part of life. Maybe you've accepted a new job and are leaving your current job, or you're graduating from college and entering the workforce. Whatever the case may be, periods of transition are often marked by speeches of farewell. When preparing a speech of farewell, the goal should be to thank the people in your current position and let them know how much you appreciate them as you make the move to your next position in life. Inspirational speaking. The goal of an inspirational speech is to elicit or arouse an emotional state within an audience. In section 18.2.1, ceremonial speaking, we look at ceremonial speeches. Although some inspirational speeches are sometimes tied to ceremonial occasions, there are also other speaking contexts that call for inspirational speeches. For our purposes, we are going to look at two types of inspirational speeches, goodwill and speeches of commencement. Speeches to ensure goodwill. Goodwill is an intangible asset that is made up of the favor or reputation of an individual or organization. Speeches of goodwill are often given in an attempt to get audience members to view the person or organization more favorably. Although speeches of goodwill are clearly persuasive, They try not to be obvious about the purposive intent and are often delivered as information-giving speeches that focus on an individual or organization's positive attributes. There are three basic types of speeches of goodwill: public relations, justification, and apology. Speeches for public relations. In a public relations speech, the speaker is speaking to enhance one's own image or the image of his or her organization. Can almost think of these speeches as cheerleading speeches because the ultimate goal is to get people to like the speaker and what he or she represents. In the following brief speech, the CEO of British Petroleum is speaking to reporters about what his organization is doing during the 2010 oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Speeches of justification. The second common speech of goodwill is the speech of justification, which is given when someone attempts to defend why certain actions were taken or will be taken. In these speeches, speakers have already enacted or decided to enact some kind of behavior and are now attempting to justify why the behavior is or was appropriate. In the following clip, President Bill Clinton discusses his decision to bomb key Iraq targets after uncovering a plot to assassinate former President George H.B. Speeches of apology. The final speech of goodwill is the speech of apology. Frankly, these speeches have become more and more commonplace. Every time we turn around, a politician, professional athlete, musician, or actor and actress is doing something reprehensible and getting caught. In fact, the speech of apology has quickly become a fodder for humor as well. Let's take a look at a real apology speech delivered by professional golfer Tiger Woods. When you need to make an apology speech, there are three elements that you need to include. Be honest and take responsibility, say you're sorry, and offer restitutions. Speeches for commencement. The second type of inspirational speech is the speech of commencement, which is designed to recognize and celebrate the achievements of a graduating class or an other group of people. The most typical form of commencement speech happens when someone graduates from school. Nearly all of us have sat through commencement speeches at some point in our lives. And if you are like us, you have heard good ones and bad ones. Numerous celebrities and politicians have been asked to deliver commencement speeches at colleges and universities. One famous and well thought out commencement speech was given by famed Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling at Harvard University in 1928.
Speeches in general purposes. First is the motivational speech. A motivational speech is a special kind of persuasive speech where the speaker encourages the audience to pursue their own well-being by injecting confidence into the audience. The speaker is able to guide them toward achieving the goals they set together. A motivational speech is more dependent on steering emotions instead of persuasion with logic. For example, a sports team pep talk is considered to be a motivational speech where the coach motivates his player by creating a sense of unity between one another. One of the most well-known motivational speeches is I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King Jr. So, when we talk about motivational speech, it encourages to boost their confidence for a group or for someone. Second is the impromptu speech. There is a situation. Suppose You're at work doing your job, minding your own business. Then, your coworkers call you to inform you that he's sick. There is a big meeting coming up, and you have to take his place and give an update about that project you've been working on. At this point, the impromptu speech is having a speech without further notice or haven't prepared enough to have a speech. Well, that's what an impromptu speech is. A speech is given on the spot without any prior planning or preparation. It being impromptu is more of a property than a type on its own, since you can spontaneously give speeches of any type. Not that it's a good thing though. Always try to be prepared for your speeches in order for them to be successful. The third is oratorical speech. This might sound a bit counterintuitive at first, since the word oratorical literally means relating to the act of speech giving. But an oratorical speech is actually a very specific type of speech. Oratoric, oratorical speeches are usually quite long and formal in nature. Their purpose could be to celebrate a certain event like a graduation, to address serious issues and how to deal with them, or to mourn losses and give comfort like a eulogy at a funeral. Before giving oration speech, the speaker needs to fully understand the purpose of the piece so they can use the proper tone of voice to portray intent. The fourth speech is the debate speech. The debate speech has a general structure of a persuasive speech in the sense that you use the same mechanics and figures to support your claim, but is distinct from a persuasive speech in that its main purpose is to justify your stance towards something rather than convince the audience to share your views. Debate speeches are mostly improvised since you can't anticipate all the arguments the other debaters could throw at you. Debate speeches benefit the speaker since it develops their critical thinking, public speaking, and research, among other benefits. You'll find debate speeches to be common in public forums, legislative sessions, and court trials. So, the debate speech is you are tackling a topic with different opinion or perspective. The fifth speech is the forensic speech. According to the American Forensic Association or AFA, the definition of a forensic speech is the study and practice of public speaking and debate. It's said to be practiced by millions of high school and college students. It's called forensic because it's styled like the competition held in public forums during the time of the ancient Greeks. Prior to a forensic speech, students are expected to research and practice a speech about a certain topic to teach it to an audience. Schools, universities, or other organizations hold tournaments for these students to present their speech. Forensic speech is a speech or a research that about a certain topic that you must relate and to tackle this to the audience or some organization. The last speech is special occasion speech. If your speech doesn't fall under any of the previous types, then it probably falls under the special occasion speech. These speeches are usually short and to the point, whether the point is to celebrate a birthday party or introduce the guest of honor to an event. Special occasion speeches can include introductory speeches, ceremonial speeches, and tributary speeches. You may notice that all this can be categorized as entertaining speeches. You're right. They're a subtype of entertaining speeches because they neither aim to teach nor to persuade you. So, the special occasion speeches is being prepared for some occasion like birthday party. It will have a sequence of events like introducing the celebrant or the guest of honor. Then this is a type of speech, subtype speeches of entertaining because they entertain the audience for the event will not get bored or boring.